Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Okay. My Honorable Mr. Nuriska Noviantoro, SPD MPD as the lecturer of functional grammar, and my respectable all of my friends here who will be a good leader in the future. Okay, so in this time, we are from group 3. We are going to present the result of our discussion. There is about theme and grammar. And the member of group 3, there are Hafidatul Ilmi, Rina, Rita, and I am Rifa. So the first speaker will be delivered by Hafidatul Ilmi. For Hafidatul Ilmi, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. So I'm here. I will explain about minor and major clause. Minor clause means a sentence that only contains but one central element, namely incomplete sentence. Minor sentences are used for answer to question, comments, invitation, prohibition, and exclamation. A minor clause has no predicator. The principal types of minor clause are as follow: address or vocative, greeting, and exclamation. Example, Andy, good to see you. My dear student, oh my. Well, major is a sentence that at least consists of two central elements, namely subject and predicate, or can be a complete sentence like subject, verb, predicate, object, and adverb. Major clause, independent, and dependent clause. Independent clause is a clause that already has a complete idea. A dependent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb, but incomplete. Not everyone can includes independent, the even work well. Independent clause release speech function and exclaim, whereas dependent clause pick up mode of the primary clause. Next, independent clause, non-elliptical. Elliptical sentence is a combination of two sentences with different subject but the same predicate and is used to avoid repetition of words. The purpose of forming elliptical sentence is to convey statement in a simple way, repeat the same sentence element, being left out or removed. Taken dinner yet? Elliptical. In here, its mean has non-elliptical. Are they taking lips today? Here, its mean they are not taking lips today. Then clause, embedded versus non-embedded. Embedding is a mechanism whereby an element, in our case, a clause, which itself is constituent of a black suite was. Okay, next, clause complex expansion. A clause mode and Theme-Rheme is a multivariate structure that is one made of units of different rank of two logical semantic relation, expansion or projection. In this elaboration, extension, and have 4 points. Well, for example, the soup is tasty, the saltiness perfect, this foundation, Garuda, and batik iron. And let's point comment, for example, the soup. And number 2, extension, and the meaning of one clause by adding something new. It includes many that's.
Thank you for Ilmi who has delivered the material, and we are going to continue our presenting. The second speaker is Rita. For Rita, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. And now I want to explain about class complex expansions. One is enhancements, adding new circumstantial clause as additional information. And the examples, I want to rehearsal X after I lecture all day. That is temporal. And you don't have time to practice X if you teach both day and night. That is conditional. And we didn't have rehearsal on Monday X because it was a public holiday. That is causal. And we had rehearsal on Monday X all talk. It was public holiday. That is concessive. And we rehearsed at Kedron Park High School, as where are always rehearsed, spatial. And I'm developing a more pleasing sound X by changing my embouchure, that is manner. And two, that is projection, extending the process either by quoting or reporting. Please, next slide. Okay, that would be four introductions to clause complex. Clause complex are linguistic procedures that indicate that and how processes can come together in order that relates to one another. Please, next slide. Okay, uh, Theme-Rheme. Point of departure, the beginning and the end. The beginning is where we continue the previous idea. Example, it was a nice day for me. I was thinking to grab some breakfast in the store before the station. Theme is element that come first in the clause and rhyme the rest of clause. While the theme is the core of a sentence, theme is development of the core the sentences. Kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia, theme ini adalah inti dari sebuah kalimat, sedangkan rhyme adalah pengembangan dari kalimat tersebut. Please, next slide. Okay, next, I want to explain about time of themes. First is additional. What is additional? Additional is topical theme, usually but not always the first nominal group in the clause subject. The additional theme tag can be known as the topical theme, can be known as the elemental theme first in a sentence. The express some kind of picture meaning them topical is usually, but not always, the first set of noun in a sentence. And we see the example from the intentional. Nominal group as theme. Jack went up the hill. Jack is theme and went up the hill is rhyme. And nominal group complex as theme. Jack and Jill went up the hill, and Jack and Jill is theme, and went up the hill is rhyme. Expanded clause, what Jack and Jill did was go up the hill. What Jack and Jill did is theme, and was go up the hill. Okay, please, next slide. Types of theme 2 is textual. This theme relates the clause to its context by using conjunctive, adjunct, or conjunctions. Conjunctive adjunct are more free to move in the clause. Conjunctions are restricted in the beginning. And continuative, a set of items occurs in the beginning of a new move, will, okay, an example. The procedure was simple, but nevertheless was very effective. But the procedure was simple, but was nevertheless very effective. And the procedure was simple, but was very effective nevertheless. Okay, in this example, we can see, oh, they give you a cup of tea. Or is a John continue, they is subject, give is finite and predicator, and you is complement, a cup of tea is complements. And the textual suffix is theme and the residue is rheme. Okay, next slide.
Done.
Okay, I think it's enough for me. Back to moderator.
Thank you so much for Rita who has delivered that material. And we are going to continue to the next speaker. The third speaker will be delivered by me. And there is about text. Pardon, next slide, please. It's about multiply. It's still included in types of terms. So, multiply terms is a clause has a number of human experience. A term of meta functions, which consists of three elements of process: the process itself, the participant in that process, and any circumstance factors. They say that the tree is only one of these experimental elements in the thematic structure, that it can be either participant, circumstance, or process function as a topical term. The other element can be occurred in the clause preceding the topical term, and then it will be consisted of multiply term. As a result, there are two kinds of multiply term. There are textual term and interpersonal term. Next slide, please. Pardon, still here. For example, there is no, well, I mean they don't know. So no, well, I mean they don't know. They don't be as a mood and now as a residue, and no, well, I mean they as a term and don't know as a rem. Next slide, please. Okay. The next is we are going to talk about time and mood. And the first is declarative. When you're talking about declarative, so it's about a sentence that makes a statement, provide a fact, offers an explanation, or conveys information. Declarative sentence is the most common types of a sentence in the English language. It is written in the present tense and usually ends the period. Jadi deklaratif ini kalimat pernyataan yang biasanya sifatnya lengkap. Kalau dalam Indonesia terdiri dari SPOK yang diakhiri dengan titik. For example, here I think you should come to Lina's birthday party tonight, and there's another example. You probably haven't got much more than 8. And you as a subject and as a mood, you probably haven't as a mood and got much more than 8 as a residue. And in time analysis, so you will be as a topical, and you probably have you as a time, and probably haven't got much more than 8 as well. Next slide, please. So elliptical declarative. Before that, Ilmi has told that elliptical is a gabungan dua kata yang memiliki dua subjek yang berbeda, but the same with the same what's the predicator, with the same predicate. And declarative is kata yang diakhiri dengan titik. So that's elliptical declarative. Elliptical declarative adalah sebuah kata yang mengalami pergabungan, dan pergabungan ini terjadi di kalimat deklaratif. For example, here it takes about a day. So it is a mood, takes a mood, and about a day is a residue, and it is topical, and it is a time as well. And then takes about a day is a rhyme. Another example, for example, my husband will start to work at his new office tomorrow. So, and the second sentence is my sister will start to work at her new office tomorrow. So, if we combine with elliptical and declarative, will be my husband will start to work at his new office tomorrow, and so will my sister. And next slide, please. Okay, it's talking about yes, no interrogative, and we are talking about yes, no interrogative. So we have to put the auxiliary in the beginning of the sentence. For example, are you angry? And am I beautiful? And then, for example, can I get you some more? Can as a mood, as a finite, and I as a mood, as a subject is mood. Get you some more as a residue, and can I as a term, and get you some more friend. Next slide, please. Okay, in this analysis, when we are talking about W and interrogative, so it's relating by what, who, when, why. It's like where, which, and whose, who, how much, how long, and etc. And for example, here, how much do they take out of you? Okay, how much as a residue, do, and they smooth, take out of you as a residue, and then how much as a topical and as a temp, and do they take out of you as a rain. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. And the next is about elliptical interrogative. So, tadi kan elliptical itu penggabungan, interrogative itu pertanyaan. Jadi elliptical interrogative itu pertanyaan yang bentuk pergabungan kata tapi dalam bentuk pertanyaan. And then of course some is like yes, no interrogative, so we have to put what question mark in the end of the sentence. For example, here, why was she a bit down? And why is a residue, was a mood, and she is a mood, and a bit down is a residue. Why is topical, what is time, and was she a bit down is a rhyme. And elliptical interrogative has a two kind, positive elliptical interrogative and negative elliptical interrogative. And that's all from me. And uh, we are going to continue to the next speaker, who will be delivered by Nengrina. For Nengrina, time is yours.
Thank you, moderator. I will explain the next material. Theme and mood and imperatives. Theme and mood, uh, imperatives. In imperatives, the moods elements may consist of subject plus subject only, unit only, or they may have no mood elements. Three will always be a predicator. Take this, deep, and rim. Let's have more so, dim or rim. Next slide, please. Theme and mood. Inner clause. As minor clauses carry neither transitivity nor mood levels, no thematic structure can be identified solely if its analysis is tight. Oh good, minor clause. Thanks a lot, minor clause. Minor clause means a sentence that only contains by a central element, namely, and complete sentence. Minor sentences are used for answer to question, comment, invitation, prohibition, exclamation. Next slide, please. Theme and clause complex paratics. Paratics, the placing of clauses one after another without connection word conjunction to show the relation between them. Paratics refers to placing two clauses next to each other without using subordinating conjunction or coordinating conjunction to clarify the relationship between clauses. Two independent clauses exist, so each clause is given a individual thematic analysis. Few topical theme, rhyme, rhyme or rhyme, theme or rhyme, theme or rhyme. Next slide, please. Theme and clauses complex. Hypothetics. Hypothetics, on the other hand, refers to the use of coordinating or subordinating conjunction to indicate the relation between clauses. Hypothetics refers to a sentence arrangement in which the main clause is built on top of a subordinate phrase or clause. Hypothetic sentence construction uses subordinating conjunction and relative pronouns to connect the main clause of the sentence with its dependent elements. One independent clause and dependent clause exists, So you need to order the main A independent D clause before doing analysis. If the main clause is followed by dependent clause, I do it A ill because I bet a doctor B. Theme and rhyme, theme or rhyme. Next slide, please. Theme and clause complex divided. Next slide, please. Theme and textual meaning. Pattern, regional tense by the rhyme organization in the voting test fall into three parts. Normally parts. It identifies the organization of how the text is structured. Zigzag pattern. Clause 1, rhyme and theme. Clause 2, rhyme and theme. Uh, mul- multiply rhyme and pattern. Clause 1, theme and rhyme. Clause 2, theme and rhyme. Clause 3, theme and rhyme. Clause 4, theme and rhyme. The pattern of how the theme develops in the clarify makes out the paragraph, and in this analysis, the paragraphs that do not follows one of the 30% are converted into pattern 4, which is actual the ones that do not have the patterns. A paragraph without a template is number one, as opposite to only one simple clause. If out is a connection link, and two, which contains a small clause is which both types of paragraph cannot be completed in terms of developing and time. Thank you. Back to moderator.
Okay, thank you for Rina who has delivered the last material. So we are going to the next session. There is we want to answer some questions. There are 5 questions. Uh, the first will be answered by Ilmi.
Okay, question number 1. What are the difference between minor and major clause? Difference between minor and major clause is minor sentences are sentences that contain only one central element or the core of the sentence. Example of sentence: shut up, go, very expensive, what's new, what's to come, and it's ready. While major sentences are sentences that contain at least two main elements of the sentence. Example of sentence: he took the book, he's inside, and we went to Padang. Thank you. Back to moderator.
All right, thank you. And the second question will be answered by Rita.
Okay. The next question is what's make independent clause? The answer is an independent clause is a clause is that already has a complete idea or can be cited to be a complete sentence. Kind of independent clause. One is modifiers and 2 complement, and 3 subject complement. And the dependent clause is a group of words that certain a subject and a verb but and complete sentence. Kind of dependent clause: one is adjective clause, two adverbial clause, and three noun clause. Okay, back to moderator.
All right, thank you. And the next question, the question will be answered by me. It's about what are elliptical clause or subordinate clause that is missing a word or words. Often the missing part is a verb or a verb phrase. While elliptical clauses are acceptable to use, they can sometimes cause confusion for writers and readers, especially when the sentence ends with a pronoun. Here's an example of a sentence where the writer has to make a choice between the correct pronoun to use. You are just as good at golfing as her or he. Okay, that's from me. And the last questions, the fourth and the fifth, will be answered by Nengrina.
Okay, thank you, moderator. The next question. What are parenthetics and hypothetical clause? Parenthetics is refers to the placing of two clauses next to one another without the use of subordinating conjunction or coordinating conjunction to clarify the relationship between the clauses. The omission of the conjunction is also known as a shaded sentence written in the phonetic style often use semicolons or commas to separative two or more independent clauses, or hypothesis, or refers to the arrangement of a sentence in which the main clause is built upon by phrases or subordinate clause. Hypothetic sentence construction uses subordinating conjunction and relative pronouns to connect a sentence main clause to its dependent elements by explicitly defining a clear connection and order between the clauses through synthetic subordination. Hypothetic sentence establishes a hierarchy of importance, essentially ranking each clause in the sentence. Okay, thank you. Back to moderator.
Alhamdulillah, we have done our presenting today, and we do apologize for our mistake and every mistake because we are still learning at all. And Alhamdulillah, may what we delivered before can be useful for us. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.